process in the school, especially when students are involved. I must admit, you recognize that. That is why majorly from last year going to the next 3 years, we are concentrating majorly on the foundation level outcome. Because what we have realized in terms of numeracy and literacy, students are not doing very well in that aspect. And therefore, like the common sense says, if the foundation is not very strong, you can rest assured that the duration of your structure would also be something that we have to keep an eye on, because that determines a lot how durable that structure will be. So we are investing on foundational learning to help the children in times of reading, in times of basic maths, literacy and numeracy, so that they will be able to do that. I know I put a practice into here, but I am paid for it. So I will, at this point, summarize and say that yes, we look forward to having the full disclosure of the report, and we also give you assurance. Don't forget that the Honorable Minister was my minister, and is still my minister, one sector, education sector. So we will all work together to see how we implement this. The inputs of higher education is the outputs of institutions of education. So if we don't get it right there is no way that we'll have it right at the end. So collectively, we all work together in ensuring that. So once again, on behalf of the Honorable Minister, Dr. Amadou, my colleagues at senior management, and those that are here and my partners, I want to profoundly register our appreciation for the effort of Dr. Jallow, who has taken this endeavor to ensure that he looks into this and provides some insight as to what the effect of safety in our schools is in this country. Once again, Honorable Minister, thank you very much, my dear colleagues. Thank you very much, thank you to back. Our home sweet home. Commerce Secretary, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Vice Chancellor Teaching and Learning, Provost, University of Education, the Gambia, Chairperson, University of the Gambia, Governing Council, Chairperson, Civil Service University, the Dr. Amadou, colleagues from UTG, deans and directors, senior officials from MOXI, and other staff within the higher education fraternity. I bring greetings from Moha. I'm happy to be here to here at UTG. It is a great pleasure to address you at this important national policy conference convened to disseminate and reflect on the findings of a study that is both timely and crucial
the future of education in the Gambia. An evidence-based examination of the scholarship system and its impact on learning outcomes. At the heart of any meaningful education reform lies a fundamental question. Are our policies truly improving learning? Because up to a particular time, we ask ourselves whether there are policies, basic education, higher education, whether what we are doing are improving learning. Thanks to the important work being presented today, we are better positioned to answer that question, not with assumptions, but with solid data and thoughtful analysis. That whatever we do is anchored on data. Whatever we do is evidence-based. Allow me to begin by commending the University of the Gambia for its growing role in advancing national development through rigorous and policy-relevant research. I would particularly like to acknowledge Dr. Amadou Jallow for his outstanding leadership in conducting this study. Jallow knows there was a time he wanted to pack and go. So before he started the process, I reminded him. I said, when people came, they left, some left. So you, I said, let's come. Yes, we all know there are problems. There are problems at UTG, there are problems at MOAS, there are problems in our houses. But it's not because there are problems we have to run away. We cannot abandon the house that we built. It belongs to us. Let's sit here and struggle. We will fight. And then later we reconcile. And then continue building the house. But we cannot just run away because of the challenges. Yes, there are other opportunities out there. Especially some of the economists, the first thing is the World Bank. The World Bank is taking a good number of our people. So, and just to buttress what I've been saying, UTG is the powerhouse of this country when it comes to knowledge production. Our public institutions and the provost of the UED will tell you how many teachers have been produced and who are later, yes, some are in the system, some are elsewhere. So if you take the public institutions, everything will go down. Yes, we have challenges, but we need to really continue to work. So I'm happy that he stayed among others, and and he's doing his work like others also who are here. And that's the message I keep on sending. Let's stay. Let's build the house. As academics, we cannot be at the periphery, murmuring, or making noise all the time. Yes, we have to speak up. Yes, we have to really ensure that we question the logic. Yes, you sometimes engage management, engage the ministry, engage government, engage everybody. Because that's your nature. That's your nature. You are academics. You cannot keep quiet. And you cannot also do like others. This is not a dara, this is not a Bible knowledge, whatever. There, when God speaks, it is final. Nobody questions. Because God has spoken. But in a university, it's the opposite. People question whatever you say. People have in fact, they are trained to question whatever is in front of them. That's their DNA. So don't blame them if they are that rebellious. Because that's their nature. That's their nature. So for me, I'm not worried. I know people are always not comfortable when UTG scholars, students come up and, do it their own way. But I feel that this is normal. In a university where everybody is saying the same thing, then that university needs to close. It means there's nothing good coming out from that. Because nobody is questioning the letter. You need to be challenged. So I want to thank you for being there. The only thing I ask, in that process, do it in such a way that you will not be misunderstood. There are those who want to bring down your institution, will not capitalize on that, to really attack the sanctity and the integrity of the institution. Because when they finish with that institution, they come for you. Like the students, I will tell you, if you join those criticizing your institution, saying that it's garbage, and you are getting a degree from that university that is termed as garbage, so your certificate has no use, no value. So we need to be very smart. We are trained, we will fight among ourselves, because this is part of us. We will question whatever is done, but also we don't want people to come, and those who don't know, to come and be talking about things they don't know. And let them not be involved in civil and violence. You are not invited. Stay away. Allow them. They are crazy people. But they will come back again, round the table of academic sisterhood and brotherhood, and solve their own problem. So, and this is one of the solutions, where you come and now do some work for the common good. And also community service as our mandate, teaching, research, community service. Community service is not just going to the village and starting, farming here and there, helping them. It's one of them. But community service starts from the university itself. Doing research, but doing research that will help really change things, like in this one. So the work will be beneficial, for everybody. Mopsy, Mohans, and everybody. So we want to really thank you, Dr. Jallow, for that, and it's good. I've been proven right that you needed to speak. Okay, and the others also. It's good to be here, to be around. Friend Dr. Baji is here, but he's still giving money. He's having a lot of money. There's a lot of consultants. Today I'm not going to share back. I also extend my sincere appreciation to the Global Education Analytics Institute, the Partnership for Economic Policy, and the Africa Fellowship in Education Program for their continued support in strengthening local research capacity. This study reinforces a principle we strongly uphold, that effective and sustainable solutions must be informed by local evidence, generated by local expertise, and tailored to our local context. And this is the mindset. And you've seen at Mohans, people are talking about Mohans. But the reality is, if I have to confess here, we are not doing anything extraordinary. We rely on the people, our own people. There are our own people doing the job, from UTG, USET, CSU, UEG, and others. They are the ones doing the job. The first document that we produced, sustainable financing of higher education, 3 years ago when we took over. It was UTG Research Directorate and other scholars from other institutions who took part and produced that. So what you saw unfolding was in that document. Homegrown. That's the issue. And yes, we work with other development partners. I don't want to mention that. But we refuse to be depending on those institutions to give us international consultants to come and think for us. We don't do that. We need to put our house first because we went to school like all of them. So why should we come back, some of our classmates or some who were our juniors, to come and now be the one now telling us when to wake up and when to go to bed? Why did we go to school? See, we don't have, we have all these universities, these experts. I told you, other development partners are relying on them. So, and then we sit down here, not making good use of their expertise. And we wait for Godot somewhere to come. We refuse to do that. And that's the strength of Moa. So that whenever we come up with something, because we rely on everybody. See, that's how we tell you. No? From the company session, how much was using all of them. And the same thing. And some of you know my approach. I believe in a committee-led approach. So this is the approach. So being full of business, yeah, in those days, and I set up a committee. Hey, bro, you know me, I'm tired. I need to. I said, my friend, come, let's work. But you cannot be complaining. There's a problem, and then you can solve the problem, and you see that the very keep on complaining. No, you come. That's the approach. We all come together, and when we do that, we make new something. So we're very, very grateful for all of you. Very grateful for the support that you are giving, for the extra sacrifice. I want to encourage you to do that. As a ministry, we remain committed to building a robust national research and innovation ecosystem. We believe that research must go beyond the walls of academia. We must inform decision-making, shape national priorities, and guide our collective development trajectory. In this regard, I am pleased to inform you that several legislative instruments have been developed and are currently under review for passage by the National Assembly. These include initiatives that will significantly strengthen the infrastructure for research, innovation, and sustainable higher education financing in the Gambia. Among them is a proposed framework for a national research and innovation fund, which seeks to provide direct and sustained support to researchers, ensuring they have the resources necessary to conduct impactful, policy-relevant studies so that research such as what we will be discussing today become the norm rather than exception. Yes, you are following for the first time. We now have the third fund approved unanimously by Cabinet and the National Assembly, Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund. These are funds, very competitive, that will be there now to support our universities, colleges, and institutes. This is for the first time. And then also, you are aware that both Cabinet and National Assembly unanimously approved the Research and Innovation Act. And this will help really produce create opportunities to support research, because an institution or a country that is not that creative is a dead country. And obviously we developed the first ever national research policy. See, we've been acting since 1965, but there was no document, one document that really talks about the research and well-coordinated policy. So we were able to do that. Recently we used some of you and came forward and helped us now develop a bill, national research bill, which we never had since independence. Research bill, not only research bill, national national research framework also is done, and also the national research regulation. These are all instruments that we developed, thanks to some of you here present. Ofane, Dr. Burama, and others, our colleagues also here present. Of UDC, teaching and learning, all came forward, and all of you were there. We didn't work up to midnight. Up to midnight. And then the following day, early morning, we came back, continued working. He is a sacrifice, and nobody was paid. So this is something very, very good. Aya, I know you want me to summarize now, but remember, Prof, missed the class. and you know, I was enjoying myself here. All of a sudden they made a mistake and took me to Mohan, so as minister. So psychologically I need to adjust to be myself. But let me just indicate that we are establishing a tertiary and higher education trust fund that will provide a reliable mechanism for financing research, institutional development, innovation, and capacity building across the higher education sector. Complementing these efforts is the National Research Policy 2024-2029, which sets out a coherent framework for coordinating and regulating research activities nationwide, aligned with international governance standards. We have also developed a student loan bill. You must have seen in this session, it will be tabled for the second and third reading, so that we have the first ever Student Loan Act. And that will help to provide affordable financing options to students who may not qualify for scholarships but have the potential to succeed and contribute meaningfully to national development. Together, these policies and legislative actions reflect our deep commitment to transforming education in the Gambia through evidence-based planning, inclusive financing, and systemic reform. Ladies and gentlemen, the double shift system was introduced as a practical solution to limited infrastructure and growing enrollment, as explained earlier on by P.S. Moses. It has served its purpose in expanding access, but we must now ask, is it enhancing learning or compromising? This study gives us the evidence to begin answering that question objectively and strategically. Then together we find other alternatives, or even see how to harness whatever we are doing. And let us be clear, this is not just a basic or secondary education issue. The effects cascade through the entire education system. The students we welcome into our universities and colleges are shaped by their experiences in primary and secondary school. If their foundational education is weak, we feel it in the higher education sector. Likewise, the graduates of our teacher training program return to those same schools to teach the next generation, creating a cycle that can either elevate or weaken the entire system. This is why we must approach reforms holistically. At the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, MOHAS, we are doing just that. We are expanding access to higher education through new public universities and technical institutions. And by the way, come the 10th of this month, we will all gather at the Sadarat Conference Center to launch the GMI, the Gambia Madrasa Integrated Strategy. That will be helpful so that we see how together both ministries will work hand in glove to ensure that we have a madrasa board, for those that will help to streamline what is happening within the madrasa, but also see how to integrate Tibet and also STEM into the madrasa. This is the new norm. This is what is happening in other countries. Why the damage? Democracy must be taught people. You cannot have more than 20% coming from the madrasa and then now be excluded from the national agenda. So this is the norm on the 10th. But also on the 21st of December, all roads lead to Brikama, where we will inaugurate the state-of-the-art campus of USEC, and with the state-of-the-art laboratory technology. And so, obviously, we are first several convocations for homegrown engineers in mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and electrical electronics engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the way forward. We waited for too long. 6 years after independence. We cannot wait for them. That's why we must act, and act very fast. Most notably, we are transforming also the Gambia College into the University of Education. That now you've seen, we are not calling Dr. Abubakar principal, we're calling having new type, robots. And we are now rolling it out. They too will have, very soon, you'll later see what they're going to do. We will change things. And we go for quality, not quantity. Because that's what the reality demands. This is a major milestone. It signals our commitment to strengthening the teaching profession and ensuring that our future educators are not only qualified, but deeply prepared in content, in pedagogy, in research, and in ethics. I said it earlier on. What is going to happen, there will come a time, even in nursery schools, you will have graduates teaching at nursery school, and they don't have to envy those who did primary or higher teacher's certificate and so. So that's the new norm. Because we're going to now introduce later some programs in ECD, BSc in ECD. That's the norm, so that they don't leave the classroom. We want to keep them. Because most of the time, I know, yes, it's kumboy. Crying everywhere, because they will train some people, keep them, they're very good ones, in ECD, but then later on, because they've seen, ESA now doing something that they do, I want to go to teach primary or the secondary. So they go for higher training. So when they come back, they don't go back to ECD. Okay, because they are promoted and so. Now what we are saying, you can have both. You can be trained in your area. And the system to recognize that and you are not losing. And then we keep you there. So we maintain our experts and so on. And that's one of the things we do in addition to other educational programs that will be needed. So we are coming. This will have a direct impact on the quality of education across our schools. A better trained teacher means better learning outcomes for our children. At the same time, we are investing in curriculum reform, digital learning, research infrastructure, and institutional development, ensuring that our higher education system is not only inclusive but globally competitive. That's the reason why 10 of UEG, University of Education, formerly Gambia College, and another group of UTG students, and also Civil Service University, are sent to Nigeria, Obafemi Awolowo University. So entirely funded by MOHA, despite our legal resources, no funding from anyone. Just the tuition fee for this year is $5 million. $5 million we are paying for the staff of the college, then college, now University of Education, UTG, and MBI, now Civil Service. Just for this year. $5 million in their tuition fees. It's different from their stipend. All of them, we are paying them $850 per month. You see, we are investing. We are investing for tomorrow because we want more PhDs. We are not waiting. This is different from the scholarship coming through our bilateral. This is more as limited resources. That's what we've done for all the staff. And we will continue doing that. Because we strongly believe in human capital. You cannot develop if you don't have the human capital. Well trained. But pray for us because it's not enough. What we want to do, and just that small number, look at the amount. But it's not in our budget sometimes. So it's difficult. So, since Aja wants me to conclude, let me because I'll be abusing her generosity. It will be nice with me. So let today be more than a presentation of findings. Let it be a call to action. Let us use this evidence to inform real decisions, to rethink where necessary, and to act boldly in the interest of our students and our nation. I affirm this ministry's full commitment to working collaboratively with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, with our universities, with our partners, and with the research community to build an education system that is expanding in reach, rising in quality, and grounded in evidence. Together, let us shape a future where every Gambian learner is empowered to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mills, for those inspiring words. The achievements highlighted academic and university, and we comment on accepting the leadership in the Ministry of Higher Education. There will be a slide of changes in the program guide. We will have a group photo outside, and then proceed with the other. Thank you very much. Let us organize the group and we invite you all.